Welcome back to Harry Potter Theme Week, where I'm putting a Harry Potter themed recipe every day this week from Monday to Friday. So today is actually a special request. We are making a purple Pygmy Puff cake. I didn't even know the Pygmy Puffs were a thing. I don't know how I missed it, but I think that they are so cute. This is actually a request from Caoimha Quinn. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. But she was one of the people who pre-ordered my cookbook, Mermaid Food, making the cards promo. And as part of the pre-orders, if you pre-ordered, I said that I would do a request. So this was her request, and I'm so excited because I'm obsessed with the cake. And it also does not use any fondant at all. So let's get started. Okay, so I didn't show this tutorial on how to make the actual base cake because I feel like I've done it so many times and like I don't know if it'd be boring for you guys, but this is basically the same cake recipe that I use all the time because it's my favorite. So I'll link that base recipe in the cards right here, but I've also typed it out down below specific to this recipe, so just like dyeing it pink, and I cut the ingredients in half because I'm only making 2 layers. All the info is on this page. So yeah, anyway, so we are starting off with making the buttercream. So to make the buttercream, beat some butter with an electric mixer until it's pale and fluffy. Add some vanilla extract and confectioner sugar 1 cup at a time, beating with each addition. Then dye the buttercream purple. And I'll have the food coloring that I'm using as well as all the ingredients and quantities and everything in the description box down below, so have a little look if you want to. Then to assemble the cake, you want to slice off the tops and bottoms off your 2 cakes to smooth the surface and remove any excess browning. Then stack the cakes and spread some buttercream between each layer. Then use a serrated knife to carve the cake into a ball shape. And there are like spherical cake molds that you can get, but honestly it's like not a huge deal if you just use 2 round ones because it kind of turns into a square and then you can just like round the edges, so you don't have to like buy a new cake pan, which I understand your pain because like I have so many and I have no space for them, so like I don't want to do that to you too. Then coat the cake in a thin layer of buttercream, and this is called a crumb coat, and it's going to catch any excess cake crumbs so that they stay on the cake and not in the final layer of buttercream. And then pop the cake into the fridge for 20 minutes for the buttercream to stiffen a little bit. Then to make the Pygmy Puffs head and ears, we're using some marzipan. So I prefer marzipan just because it's like, I don't know, it feels more edible to me than fondant does because it's just like, I don't know, there's more like in it versus just pure sugar. There's almonds in it too. So it's totally up to you, but I also prefer the flavor. And it works the exact same way, except you don't need to attach things with water, you just stick them on. So it's kind of like clay. So that's what I use to make the Pygmy Puffs head. And then I use a knife to just make little indentations for its mouth or nose kind of area. And then to make the facial features, I just stuck a little skewer into like the eye area, and then I stuck a little blue sprinkle into each hole because from what I've seen anyway, Pygmy Puffs seem to have blue eyes, I don't know. And then you just want to stick that onto a skewer or a straw. I use a bubble tea straw because it has like a large surface area, so they are quite sturdy and handy. I'll link some below if you want to get them on Amazon. They have like a bunch, so you don't have to like go to a bubble tea store and steal it or anything. But yeah, so that's what I use, and you can like trim it to make it the perfect length. And then just stick the head onto that and then stick that into the cake. Then place the remaining buttercream into a piping bag, fit it with a large brass piping tip. And if you don't have one of those, I'll link it down below. I used one that came in my Russian piping tip set because it's bigger. So I will either find a Wilton equivalent, because I usually use Wilton if I'm not using those, or if not, I will link the Russian piping tip set. And then use the buttercream to pipe fur all over the cake. I think this looks so, but yeah, so then just cover the entire surface of the cake with the furry buttercream and you are done. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you like this recipe. Tomorrow there's supposed to be a Harry Potter dog treats recipe, but the little accessory that I ordered on Amazon hasn't arrived yet. That's Paddington Growling, if you're wondering what that was. So I think I'm gonna see, hopefully it arrives soon. That'll be next Friday. So tomorrow it's still gonna be a dog themed or dog treat recipe, but it's going to be next week's theme, which will be in the description box below if you want a hint. But also, before I go, I wanted to remind you guys that there's going to be a Harry Potter giveaway sometime this month, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled. I'm always confused if that is the right term. But keep looking around on the community tab on this channel. So basically go to your subscriptions tab and then like it will show up if you're subscribed, as well as my Instagram, which is just at @PinkoBunny. I'll be announcing it there. So I cannot wait. The stuff is so good. It's all Harry Potter themed. It's amazing. Oh my goodness. And yeah, so I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for a new recipe and an all new theme. Bye!